Welcome to the Work Camping with Why Not Wonder podcast. We're your hosts, Matt and Laurie, and we use our years of work camping experience to help you live your full-time RV life travel dreams years sooner than you ever thought possible. If it were not for work camping, we would not be out here living our full-time RV life travel dreams.
Yeah, so if you've missed any prior podcasts, we are taking 5 of your questions and answering them in one episode, and we will each give our response from our own perspectives.
Number 1, what is the most difficult part of work camping?
Well, my answer to that would be knowing what the expectations are for your job. So if you retired from a place or you worked at a place 10 or 20 years, you know what your expectations are. But when you get into work camping and you just work seasonal jobs, even though, yes, you may be working for a campground in different areas, everything changes and what their expectations of you change. So for me, learning what those expectations are from either the owners or from the managers is the most difficult part. Once you kind of settle in and then it's pretty much a breeze.
You say that all the time when we first get to a job. If they have not given him clear direction, it's just on repeat. I just want to know what they expect of me. I just want to know. My answer to this would be that it's the adjusting. I have such a long period of adjustment when we get to these locations. I'm adjusting to the new area, to the new actual spot that we're in. I'm adjusting to the grocery store and the fact that the brands that we purchase are not always available at that store, to the layout of the store, adjusting to the new employees, coworkers that I'm working with, and the employers that I'm working with. Similar to you, what are the expectations? But really, just for me, it's more personality and just kind of, I'm an introvert, so it's very exhausting for me to adjust when it comes to work camping.
Yeah, for you, it's more of a broad than more specific for me.
Yeah.
So that's
You
kind of
you just need to know what to expect.
just tell me what I need to do.
I just need to know all the things about the area and all the things about the people, and then please leave me alone because I'm an introvert.
All right, question number 2. What if only one spouse wants to work and the other one already works remotely?
This one is cool because you can actually search for jobs for solo work camping jobs. So it's totally fine if your spouse works and you need to get a work camping position. There are plenty of options out there. Those jobs will be listed in the job listing, looking for a couple, looking for solo work campers. So it's really not an issue. It might limit you a little bit because it's definitely a little bit harder to get a solo work camping job, but I would say there's still plenty of options out there.
Yeah, and my answer to that would be I agree. And I'm not bailing out on the answer, but honestly, I agree with you. We've done each one of those positions. We started out together work camping, and then you took a remote job, and now we are back to work camping together again. So we've kind of done each one of those roles, and it's not an issue. Like you said, it might limit you just a little bit, but it's not an issue at all.
No, using an example from Montana, we worked with a single female who was wonderful, and they actually were able to adjust the schedule so that she just became a housekeeper, and she loved it. She loved working on her own. All the rest of us were working as couples, but she just had that position just for her. So the other thing is too, campgrounds can hire two singles to actually work kind of as a couple. I mean, you're not obviously,
Right.
but they can pair you up if they have two solos that need work.
And that could be 2 females. That could be 2 males.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be a male and a female. They just need 2 people. If that's the case, then they'll just hire 2 individual or single people.
Number 3, how hard is the work and what are the physical requirements?
My answer to that, the work is not hard at all. I think most campgrounds understand when they're hiring work campers, they are seasonal employees. So it's not hard work. The second part of that question, what are the physical requirements? Again, they are hiring work campers that are seasonal. and a lot of them they know are retired.
Mhm.
I don't want to say old because we're close to that. But in all honesty, the work is not hard and it's not
It's not
physical.
backbreaking.
No,
I mean, might you possibly work up a little bit of a sweat if they ask you to do a special project on a hot day? Yeah, but it's not like you're out there building a building or
building a barn or something.
yeah.
Now, I will say, if you have the physical ability and you uh, work well with the owners or the managers, they may ask you if you want to do some extra work or take on some projects that they're currently working on that they wouldn't normally give to a work camper. We've done that. I've personally done that at one of our jobs in Michigan. So that's going to kind of depend on you and what you want to do. But overall, the work is not hard or physical.
So I'll answer this from an office perspective and say that the hardest part is going to be the learning. And we have a little bit of a help for you on this because you can actually go to the different campground software websites. Some of them you can download demos and you can actually put in reservations, create cancellations, do refunds. I mean, this is all mock, of course, it's on a demo platform, but you are able to play with that software. So by the time you get to the job, you are not going in there completely unsure of what you're doing. You have a little bit of feeling of the system. A lot of these campgrounds will tailor their software to how they want their system to be. So it might look a little bit different once you get there, but you're still going to have this comfort level and this confidence of, hey, I saw that, I remember that, I know how to do that. And it also shows them that you've cared enough to put in the effort to learn before you even get there. I do this, I'm going to actually be doing it soon here because I'm going to be working with a new campground software that, or it's actual hotel software that I have never done anything in before. And I know it's a kind of complex software, but I know that I can watch videos either on the software website or I can go to YouTube and I can search out videos and see how you do reservations and that kind of thing. And that is so helpful for the office type positions. Now, talking about physical requirements for cleaning, that might be where if you're not physically capable, that might be where it does get a little bit physically taxing, depending on how many. I think of the Florida job. I had 5 bathhouses to clean and 2 laundry facilities, and that was a lot of work. I mean, I was drenched in sweat, obviously, Florida, but drenched in sweat, and I had to work hard. I mean, I was exhausted by the time I got done. So, something to think about is the cleaning. It's not necessarily just like, oh, wipe a counter down. I mean, I was cleaning those bathrooms really good and I was tired.
Yeah, you were hauling in shop vacs, you were hauling in mops, you were, full of water, you were hauling in and out garbage. I mean, you do have to do those things. So you need to be physically able to do those things if that's the job that they're hiring you for. But I would agree with you. It's not hard, but it's very tiring.
Yeah, we did housekeeping together one day of our 4 days in Montana. So just one day of that week, we would do housekeeping. I would look at that and say that was super easy.
Mm-hmm.
Those were just cabins, and we would just have to turn the cabins over. And it was totally, I mean, we were cleaning them. We were cleaning them really good, but that was so much easier to do those cabins than all of the bathhouses. So I guess just being aware of your limitations and just asking a ton of questions. What do those jobs look like? How long will it take me to clean the bathhouses? What's involved in that? What are the actual things that I'll be doing in those bathrooms or cabins or whatever? Because that's going to tell you if you feel comfortable with the physical requirements of the job.
Yep, absolutely. Question number 4. How do you know what jobs are available and what should choices be for a beginner? And I'm assuming they mean what job choices.
So, how do you know what jobs are available? This is easy because I created a document that has 20 websites that you can use to find work camping jobs. I created this because there's nothing like it out there, and we needed this resource. You have so many possibilities with work camping, and it's not just limited to 1 or 2 websites. So, if you want to receive this document, you can go to whynotwonder.com/jobs, enter your email, and we will send that to you. Now, as far as what should your choices be for a beginner, I would just say that I think these jobs are all beginner jobs, but more than anything, my answer to this would be life skills. I mean, for the most part, people who are going to be doing work camping, our age, even younger, even a little bit older, all of these jobs can be done from your life experience. It's not like you need a teaching degree to be a work camper. You don't need to be a lawyer to be a work camper. If you've survived and if you have raised kids and if you have changed diapers, you can be a work camper.
Yeah, that's a great answer. Um, Mine would be similar as far as what choices should be for a beginner. They're really all beginner jobs. No campground is going to have an expectation of you that requires a degree or 7, 8, 10, 12 years of job experience. They're going to show you what the job requires and what they need you to do. They're all beginner jobs. What jobs are available? If you have specific credentials or like a CDL or law enforcement background or some sort of background, you can always look in the area you know you're going to go to, and you can work. You can hack work camping that way if you want to. But that's my answer.
Number 5, how much money can you make as a work camper?
Well, that's a great question. We actually have a comprehensive video on our YouTube channel about this very specific topic. So I'm not going to go into great detail on it. You have a lot, probably more information on it than I do, but that's what I would say. Go to our YouTube channel.
My answer to this would be the first thing is you can start looking, say you're looking at California. Start with what is California's minimum wage? Because a lot of these places are going to be paying you based on the minimum wage of the state. So there are some states that it's like $9 an hour, and that is crazy because I cannot even fathom working for $9 an hour. But there are also states that are much higher, but you might want to be in that $9 state. So if you do, and you start looking for those jobs in those states, then you can start communicating with the employers and finding out what they pay. It might be totally different. So don't rule out a state based on that, but that's a good starting point, is to start with the minimum wage of the state, especially if money is an issue for you, that you really need to make a solid income. Now, as far as how much money can you make, we have like, we could just be honest. I mean, I think we cover it in our work camping, how much money can you make video.
Yep.
When we first started, we hit the road with an agreement of $12 an hour for our first work camping job. Now combined, that's $24 an hour. So we were working 32 hours a week at $24 an hour. We count ourselves as one. We don't,
Yep.
so when you're doing this lifestyle, your expenses are less. So you can kind of afford to take a tiny little bit of a cut as far as pay goes. But we ended up getting a raise. We've gotten raises at every place that we've work camped. And he works a farm job where he makes well over $20 an hour with time and a half and a really good bonus. So you can make really good money as a work camper. You can also do the higher paying work camping jobs where you are doing, usually it's shorter term work for bigger pay, but there are so many options. We'll be bringing tons of people on to talk about all of the different options, the people who have actually been the boots on the ground doing these jobs. So you can do things that make $20, $25 an hour and also pay overtime with those positions. Those positions will be anywhere from 6 weeks to 3 months.
Yep. And just to piggyback a little bit of what you said a few seconds ago, how much money can you make? Just remember that most of these campgrounds give you a free site, free hookups, sometimes even free laundry. So take that into consideration as well. It's not always just about how much per hour. Sometimes you got to look at the big picture. Well, we hope that this podcast was helpful, and we can't thank you enough for sending in these questions. Those were all great questions. If we did not answer your specific question, feel free to send it in. We would be more than happy to include it in a future podcast.
Now, get out there and wander.